Good morning, welcome back to Bame Farm. This is our fourth day of combining corn. Started Monday in the misty drizzle we had. And to be fair, that's some of the cleanest corn I've harvested as it got drier. I had trouble getting little pieces of stem and leaf to come out. I'm gonna do some combine prep. This old beast, well, it's been eating up corn and going through it. Whew, going through the fuel too. And the oil, check the oil, and the antifreeze. Probably need to check the governor oil too. It doesn't take much, but a couple times I've checked it, it wasn't where I left it. Oh, come on. Oh, really? Don't be a pain now. Oh. Yep, I'm gonna need some antifreeze. Actually, I did find a leak. It's on a heater hose right above the tire up front, right at the valve. But I didn't shut it off hot last night. It was pretty cold. It's low. And I had been draining out. It would overflow. Got a little warm once or twice, I guess. Not that hot, because the gauge has barely come off the cool section. Drum looks clean. Best I can tell, the radiator looks clean. For some reason, that thing doesn't like to stay where I put it. Yeah, it's sliding out a little bit. It's just hurting our seal up top. I had been draining out the antifreeze. Just pull the bottom off, fill up the jug, and pour it back in, but I don't think this is a radiator that's quite the best suited for having an overflow and then getting it to refill. It just catches it so you don't waste it. It's quick to pull the thing off, put it back in. This is a fresh jug of half and half. Probably should do some greasing. We stopped last night about midnight. I wanted to finish the field across the way I was working in. But Dad happened to call, suggesting to call tonight, and then I heard a clanging metal noise. Well, it was by the time I got back here and shut off, I figured out it was the ladder hit a stock. The poor ladder on this thing, it gets you in the cab. It's not the prettiest. Previous owner probably bent it. I bent it when I fell in a hole. The owner of the property was doing some work. Took out a stump next to a driveway, and I was too far side of the driveway and fell right in as freshly smoothed over dirt or mud. Mostly mud. Of course, Brad did the same thing too. We used the combine to pull him out. He was bringing me wagons. He sunk in, and I thought I was far enough away. He was cutting from the driveway to the field, and I thought I was far enough away driving up the driveway to get to some other fields. Because this property's all chopped up. There's like 65 acres here, but it's in, I don't know, half a dozen fields or more. So that's the antifreeze. Check the oil. It's a good solid quart user a day. Come on. Oh. Well, we'll definitely put a couple quarts in or more. There's, if I take a look, see at that. Let's blow the A and add, and there's the full. When we changed the oil, it was really nasty. We're not sure how good the previous owners were about changing it, but with it using oil at this rate, they should have at least been dumping oil in it. Yeah, it was kind of low on oil. I found that out when I was on a hill way over there, turned, and the oil pressure light came on. So the oil in the oil pan went away. I'm like, ooh, shut this off. And then I ran and got some oil as fast as I could. Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't think it was using oil that fast, but it's getting the corn in right now. Ugh. So much for cleaning that up. Yeah, I don't like the breather cap. They just have breather caps. And then you get all that dirt right on the top of the engine instead of having like a tube that vents it farther down the side. So we'll put, a bunch of oil in. I don't think what's left in this jug will be enough. There's half quart We're gonna put at least 2 in it, maybe 3. It's not like it won't use it, unfortunately. I just blindly dump all that in there because I know it's going to need it. Now, I haven't figured out where the antifreeze leak is. Like I said, I found the one on the heater hose, but I didn't notice that until today. I can never smell antifreeze back here. Dad thinks maybe the seal on the front of the water, on the front of the water pump for the water pump shaft, might be going bad, but I don't see much. I think it's burning the oil because I don't see much for oil spots. It's a little dusty, but there's no like thick caked spot like this what I expect to see with oil. Just need to get a rag back here and try to wipe some of the dust off, just all the corn dust. Or my hand. Oh yeah, oily dust. Okay. Let's see, I had the choke cable breaks. I got the choke wired open. One day it quit on Dad. He he took over for me after dark. We went to unload and the thing died on him. Well, I got lucky that was an easy fix. Oh, more oil. Oh. If you can't guess, that's our fuel tank. So we don't have a gas tank at the farm, and this thing, oh, we fill it up about once a day. Or put 55 gallons in it, just about. As far as fuel use, yeah, the diesel's much easier on fuel. Where this goes about a day on a tank. Dad thinks he can get 2 to 3 out of the diesel TR. So yeah, that's fuel efficiency for you. I have to show you sometime, but I think it started out as a Western combine doing wheat. Because I have all the wires for the concave for wheat. I need to do some investigation about the rotor, but I think I've got double rasp bars instead of a single. I think the other ones have got a single rasp bar instead of doubles. On the first section of the rotor, there's 2 rasp bars. They look kind of like a cylinder bar, I guess. But the ridges on them are one directional to help spiral the crop back the rotor. And I've got 2 of them, like one right behind the other. Now I don't remember looking that closely at the other TR. But I thought it only had a single rasp bar. I don't know why there'd be doubles for wheat. I guess it's a smaller grain. And just kind of the tire setup. Having the little smaller tires on it, they expect they're harvesting wheat in summer. They're not going to need the tires. Now, the gas option I think is kind of interesting for summer running in warm weather. Oh, that's about our 2 quarts. Now I'll guesstimate a little bit more. Let that sink in a second. Check the plug. Oh, here's the governor. I need to get a 7/16 wrench. Wanted to change the oil in it, but there's no drain plug in this dumb thing. So I'm gonna take the governor off and just dump it out somehow. I looked all over the bottom. Looks like we've made it up to the add line, but I know the oil's got to run down the engine some more. Oh, I don't know. Need to save some oil for tomorrow. Okay, we'll go with that. That leaves me 3 quarts for tomorrow. I put 3 quarts in. If it uses more than that, holy cow. Okay, that's engine prep. What was I gonna, oh, they check the sight gauges. I can't see squat. Right here for the hydraulic fluid. Can't see a whole lot. I thought this one looked milky when we first got it. I was gonna drain the oil out. Well, the oil I got out was much cleaner than what I see in the sight gauge, so I don't know what that means. But I guess I could probably add some hydraulic fluid to it too, since I got the funnel up here. I hate these breather caps. I really do, because I don't trust them. Sometimes I look down in there on this little plate and thought I saw little droplets of moisture. They don't provide a good covering. Okay, filled the hydraulic fluid, cleaned up the governor a little bit to get to the check plug here. Oh, it's a slow one. It only takes a few ounces of oil. Those last few turns are incredibly hard. Do. Well, no oil coming out, so we can put some in it. Which, that's always a fun task. I gotta use this little squirt bottle guy. It's on a bottle of differential fluid, but I don't have an extra one that I can borrow to put on a thing of motor oil. So a whole bunch of turns later, okay, got a little bit of oil in my small jug. Swipe my nozzle cap. Don't lose that. And put in our few ounces of oil in this thing. And be ready with the plug to go over the hole. I gotta be really quick putting the oil in because there's not a good way to really dive in there and not get oil everywhere. Oil running down, come on. I don't know how fast it goes in. There's a little bubble. Okay, there it's coming out at me. Plug in the top. Sounds like a tractor. Let's be nosy. Oh, fertilizer spreader. Huh. Yeah, they were out spreading fertilizer at night in the field over by that house. I don't think there's too many acres there. I'm just being nosy. At some point I might approach them, but since they already spread fertilizer, whoever's renting it, unless they're farming it themselves. There was an auction there a few years ago. Because the man died, and I guess, well, he actually died kind of young, but he was farming it. And then somebody else rented it, and I don't know if the family moved or if they're still living there. But just because it's next door to where I'm already farming, that would be convenient. Okay. Oh, rats. Good thing this isn't running. Now, I'll just trade caps for now. Can't lose my special jug. Okay, engine prep is done. Time for grease. There's one grease fitting to get up here that I've had trouble getting grease in, and it kind of worries me. Wipe that in the grass later. They're spreading more fertilizer? Geez. Didn't think that field was that big. Couldn't figure out what they were doing. It was 8 to 7. It was after dark. Maybe it was like 7 or so. I don't know, once it's after dark, I lose track of time. Can't watch the sun. I get this grease fitting right here on the end of the engine pulley. See if I can get something to go in it. Figured one of those spreaders would have enough to spread whatever they're doing over there. I don't know who it is. With the big spreader like that, I'd almost say it's, you know, a co-op or whatever doing it. There we go, you going in? I had trouble getting grease in it yesterday, and it kind of worries me. And I don't know. I mean, it's a very hard to get to grease fitting. I'm standing up here on the auger. And I probably over-grease things, but it's better than running dry. As long as I don't blow the seals out. Oh wait, I need to leave this up in case I gotta do the manual choke. I had to manually choke it yesterday, which when you're by yourself is fun. See how fast you are to get from the cab back here. I got the choke wired open. Soak up my oil. I didn't need that much hydraulic fluid. Like, the sight gauge is useless. Now I'll get all this stuff down and we'll find the rest of the grease fittings. Now, we're gonna start with kind of like the most important grease fittings on here. And I can't believe it, unless there's multiple grease fittings, the grease fitting here for the variable speed has always ended in an easy to grease spot, which is fantastic. Which definitely need to make sure this gets well greased, because I have been using it a lot. Hopefully some of that went in. And this one on the end of our main drive shaft for the whole machine. On the first TR we had of the Caterpillar, this shaft broke on this side. On a cold, snowy, frozen day in, I don't know, December, January, working on corn at home. Well, that killed another 2 weeks, or at least a good week, waiting on parts. Have some extra grease. But that one, part of the problem was we were going through belts on that one too. The engine broke its motor mounds. I don't know, it was something out of balance or what. And it's funny, I keep coming across like these Cat engines, I guess most of them are in combines, that they've got a miss on one cylinder. Now, one lonely farmer's got the one he's trying to move. Well, that was quick. I think they're spreading lime. That's why he's not getting far. He's already done over there and leaving to reload. They all seem to develop a miss. One lonely farmer seems to think it's an injector problem, which, I mean, either the ones I've seen, because there is a dealer relatively close-ish, we'll say in the same area of the state, that has, I don't know, maybe a dozen TR70s for parts. And yeah, they got one in. I mean, it's comparatively in pristine shape. The paint's better than this one. We kind of looked at it in pretty good shape. But yeah, the owner brought it in, and they said the engine had a miss. So, and I thought it had a miss, was running rough. Let's see if I can turn this enough. I gotta get to a grease fitting on the back side of this somehow. Right there. This is grease fitting for the beater. Which, Funny thing I noticed, they go from straw walker combines to rotors. You get rid of the straw walkers. So I guess, I was just thinking, there's tons of time to think driving the combine all day. So a rotor must do a lot for clean grain or something, that you don't have to have straw walkers. But then I got to thinking in my head, like, straw walkers must be for catching half of the unthreshed grain, so chunks of cob with corn still on it, to send it back through the, I guess, the cylinder on a conventional combine. Yeah, that's a once a day one. Oh, come on. So much dust in here. And this is the end of our main shaft, but this is the kind of the variable speed bearing. And get some grease coming out. Now somewhere in here is a grease fitting. That's a tough one to find. Oh, we gotta get that. Oh, what's dumb is I've got a wrench to turn this thing, but it's not the right wrench. It looks just like Dad's wrench, but it doesn't fit the nut here on the end of the rotor drive pulley. But Dad's has got almost like you don't see a visible nut. It's just a nut-shaped chunk of cast iron on the end. So I think mine might be missing like a special cap that goes over the end of it. But like I said, this is an early one. So they might have made some revisions. Another reason why I think it might be a Western corn combine, because the serial number for the corn head that came with it is a late one. And Dad has an earlier corn head, but his corn head might have came to him with a 975 New Holland. I don't know if that head necessarily came new, the 975. Oh, do they make that easy to get to? It's a 90-degree fitting. You can see it pointing out right there. If I can just get the grease gun in there. That's a tough one. Hopefully you guys can see this. If not, you're just seeing how much of a fun it is. Come on. No. I have no control. Are you on there? Looks like it. Okay. Well, it didn't all shoot out, so some of it's got to be going in. Get in there. Okay. Got a few pumps in it. I think that's everything for this door. Pretty sure. Close it up. I guess we'll get these. These are every 50 hours, so I guess we've ran that long this week. Let's see. That's clean grain elevator, dirty grain. Probably should oil that chain. I got some used oil. Ooh, let's get in here. I need to get this one, which is supposed to be an easier access to grease the bearing for the main shaft here. But geez, got to reach through all these belts, and I think you guys could have brought this down, moved it somewhere. Huh. Then you get yellow paint, it's still got green primer on it. I wonder if that's been replaced. Ooh. Like the hour meter stopped working on 1,500 hours on it. Or not 15, at 500. So, I think it's low hours, but could have been abusive hours. Unless that part just didn't get yellow paint from the factory. But looking at it, they would have had this thing assembled with the belts and spray painted the whole thing. Because I've taken some things apart, like we've had to replace bearings for this pulley and sprocket set. And the stud that's on the side of the combine, we had to pull it off. And there's green paint behind it, like the lime green primer. Probably should oil that chain too. Yeah, that was an antifreeze leak. Got a little bit on the tire. I don't think it's too profuse. Pop the side open for oiling. Oh, dusty. Put some grease in the rotors. Our rotor bearings up front. Unfortunately, the tack for the rotors doesn't work. And this one has two sensors for the idiot light set that doesn't work, or it's been unplugged. I've seen quite a few TRs where they unplug the idiot lights, a couple sensors stop working, they get tired of it beeping at them. So the only thing left to grease after this is going to be the end of the rollers down here. But I gotta get it started and lift it up first. Oh yes, my snack box. Ugh, man. I need to clean this off. And we plugged it the other night. I got some down corn. That's where I saw so much, or the inside of the rotors so much, kind of know what was going on with them, making me think it's more of a setup originally as a wheat combine. Yeah, I got a little bit of down corn after dark, and all of a sudden the whole head cleared at once, sucked it all in, and we plugged it. So I spent a couple hours digging it out. Wouldn't have been bad if I would have had a wrench to turn it backwards, but I didn't have a way to turn it backwards. So much trash, I need to clean that off. Yeah, there was a spot corn didn't grow and cockleburrs did, and so we're gonna clean those off for those spread. So that's pretty much the greasing. Now the fun part is starting. We'll see if there's enough sun. Of course, I know the engine's in the shade back there. Could be a little chilly. We'll try it no choke. Give a little bit of fuel, see what happens. Okay, gotta choke it. Shut off, would ya? Okay, undo my wire, closing the choke. Close it. Now, once we get it running, we're gonna see how fast I can get out of the cab to get back here. Take the choke off. We think we might have a cable at home, but we found it. I just haven't taken the cover off here to get inside. Oh, and it does that. It did that to me 3 times in a row yesterday. Come on. Now the race is on. Stupid door handle. Piece of crap. Well, we got it to fire, so theoretically, to close this, or open it back up, should be able to get it to run like a scalded rabbit. Put my wire back on to hold the choke. Wrap it a bunch. Okay. There's supposed to be a spring, and there is a spring, but I guess with the vibrations, Okay, so after running it too rich, whew, okay. Here we go. Really? Yeah, buddy. Woo! And that is starting a Ford V8 on your own when it's cool. I know. Give it a little bit of speed to get the charging light to go off. Come on, you can do it. Just come on, you can charge. It's okay. There we go, you're charging. Needle's coming up. See, I do know the oil pressure light works, and I know the oil pressure gauge works. Oil's cold, oil pressure is, shoot, 40, 50 pounds.